And the yarn that I'm gonna be using, Noro yarn. It's actually very cold outside. My hands are freezing. So I finished all the short rows, but now I'm eager to get started on the next part of this cardigan, which is the sleeves. I'm considering just winging it. Didn't work out at all. Way too short. Finished blocking the Raglan long sleeve. Really hope this cardigan works out. So I finished both the cardigan and the long sleeve Raglan. I felt super disappointed and it ended up being high rise. And I was like, oh my God, why did I make this top so long? So I recently finished 2 of the projects that I was working on. The spring sweater, which means I now only have 1 project on the go, which is gonna be a Raglan long sleeve shirt. And personally, I like to always have more than 1 project on the go, just so I can kind of like go back and forth between different projects based on how I'm feeling. So today I'm gonna be casting on a new project. And the yarn that I'm gonna be using for this project is this really pretty Noro yarn. And I have 3 skeins of this yarn. And what's crazy is I actually got all of this Noro yarn for $50. And yeah, I feel so fortunate to have gotten this at such a good price because I know it's really expensive. I know like 1 skein usually goes for like 50 bucks, which is a lot. And I've actually never used Noro yarn before, so I'm really excited to see what it feels like. And I think I want to make a sweater. I'm not 100% sure. I keep going back and forth between making a sweater or making a cardigan, and whether that sweater or cardigan should be a Raglan or if it should be like a drop shoulder construction. So I'm still a little unsure of what I'm gonna do, but I still have a little time to figure that out because before I even cast anything on, I'm gonna work up a swatch in this yarn using 7mm needles, because I think this is a good size, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm gonna work up a swatch first. So the reason I got all of this Noro yarn at such a good price is because I got it secondhand. And these 2 cakes right here have already been used a little bit, but I think most of the yarn is still left. It's just a little, you know, and not perfectly wound. So I didn't work up an entire swatch. I just knit about 4 or 5 rows just to see what it would look like when worked up. And I first did that with the 7mm needles. I'm gonna work up a swatch in this yarn using 7mm needles and didn't like it. I didn't like how the Noro yarn looked when knit in like an open knit style with like all the holes in it. So yeah, took that apart and then I knit a couple rows with 5.5mm needles, and this is what that looks like. And I definitely like this more. I love the fabric that it creates. So I'm gonna be using the 5.5mm needles for this project. But while knitting these like 5 rows right here, I decided that I would be making a cardigan. So this is the cardigan. And I also decided that I would be making the cardigan on my knitting machine, because I don't really feel like spending over a month knitting this cardigan, which is how long it would probably take me on 5.5mm needles. But I won't be starting this cardigan on my knitting machine. I'm gonna cast on with my circular needles, and then I'm gonna knit a few rows on the needles as well, because I want to do some German short rows, and I don't know how to do that on my knitting machine, so I'm gonna be doing it on my needles. I'm gonna go outside to cast on this cardigan, and I'm wearing my comfy because it is freezing outside, but the sun is out, so I'm determined to go out there. Oh my God. It's actually very cold outside. My hands are freezing right now. Can you tell? Oh, they look they look so wrinkly. I cast on 80 stitches. I think I've been outside for almost an hour now, and I cannot feel my fingers, but I've just been so determined to stay out here even though I'm freezing, because getting some sunlight really helps my mood a lot. And even though it's freezing outside, it's so sunny. But I think it's time that I go inside now because it's getting a little difficult to knit. But even with my fingers being frozen, this is how much I was able to knit while outside. So I finished all the short rows. I don't really feel like placing them on my knitting machine right now, so I'm probably just gonna do that tomorrow. So right now, I am going to switch over to another project that I'm working on at the moment, which is gonna be a Raglan long sleeve shirt. So this is what it looks like. Very pretty. It's the next day, which means it's time to place all of my stitches of my cardigan onto my knitting machine, where I will continue to work it up. So this right here is 40 rows of stock knit, and now I'm gonna add some increases on each end of this panel in order to create some shaping at the bottom of the armholes. So I finished the back panel, and everything went as planned. The only thing now is I feel like maybe it's a little too short, but I can't tell. So that's the only thing I'm a little unsure of at the moment. My hair looks so bad. So after finishing this panel, I took it off my knitting machine and placed all of my stitches onto a lifeline. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but that green yarn that's woven through my stitches is my lifeline, and now I'm just placing all of my stitches onto my circular needles so that I can cast off by hand. So I just realized that I need a single 8mm needle to bind off my stitches, and I don't have that with me right now, and I don't really feel like going inside to grab that at the moment. So instead of casting off this panel, I am going to work on this project a little bit. And I have reached the point in this project where I am going to section off the sleeves. And since I'm doing a long sleeve raglan, I have to place my sleeve stitches onto a lifeline rather than cast them off. My hands are frozen. Now that I'm back inside, I am casting off this panel, and yeah, I'm feeling good about it, except for the fact that I feel like it's maybe a little too short, but I am trying to ignore that because I think it's gonna be okay in the end. I always get like this. I always feel uncertain about a project while I'm working on it, and then it always ends up being fine in the end. So we are trusting the process. So this morning I quickly worked up the two front panels of the cardigan on the machine, and I'm currently having a hard time trusting the process because these two front panels look so tiny, but it's because they're rolling a lot since the panels are stock knit. But yeah, this cardigan looks so small. Like if I just put it on here, yeah, might be okay. Should be okay. Anyway, next I have to do both the sleeves, but I won't be doing that for a couple days now because I am going to Toronto for the weekend to celebrate someone's birthday, so won't have a chance to work on this cardigan until I get back. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. That's nice.
My God! Is that the CN Tower? That's crazy! So crazy!
Wow.
Oh my God. Happy birthday!
today's Monday, which means I can finally start working on this cardigan again. This past weekend was so busy. I spent Friday and Saturday in Toronto.
Is that the CN Tower?
Which was a lot of fun. And then on Sunday, which was yesterday, my sister and I dyed yarn for the very first time ever.
Donnie, we're doing it.
I know.
This is it.
I know. And we've actually been wanting to do this for like almost a month, maybe 2 months now. So I'm really glad that we finally just did it, and it was a lot of fun. We learned a lot of things, and I did film the entire process of us doing it. So if you want to see us dye yarn for the very first time ever, stay tuned for that video. Even though this weekend was very busy and I didn't get a chance to work on this cardigan, I did get a chance to work on my other project, which is my Raglan long sleeve that I'm currently working on, and I made a lot of progress on this project. Doesn't it look so good? I love it so much. It's honestly been working up so quickly, so I feel like I'll have it done pretty soon. I was able to do like this entire section right here, like from the base of the arms to where I'm at now in like the last 2 days. I honestly just did a lot of speed knitting while watching the show Severance with my sister, and yeah, it's such a good show, and I was just like, I was so focused but also like really like into my knitting, so I didn't even realize how much I got done until afterwards. But yeah, she's looking so pretty. But now I'm eager to get started on the next part of this cardigan, which is the sleeves. And I still have to do some measurements to figure out how long I want to make the sleeves, but I'm considering just winging it. So this is where I'm at with the sleeve, and right now I'm working on the decreases that should cinch in the sleeve in a similar way as this sleeve right here, like it cinches in a little bit. So that's what I'm working on right now, and it's taking forever because it takes forever to do decreases on the machine when they're kind of spaced out. But anyway, I'm gonna take a little break to go to a coffee shop with my sister where I am going to continue to work on this project.
Jump out.
I'm almost done the sleeve, and I'm loving this top so much. So out of breath right now. I think it's because I ran up the stairs. Oh, where did I put? I finished my long sleeve Raglan, and I thought it was in this bag, but it's not. It's downstairs, so gotta go back down there. Okay, I got it. So like I said, I finished the long sleeve Raglan, and this is what it looks like. I did try it on when I had one sleeve completed. I'm almost done the sleeve, but I still haven't tried it on with both sleeves completed. So I'm gonna try it on now to show you guys what it looks like and also to see how I like it. Okay. Okay, it's cute. It's cute. It is. Yeah. I think she's cute. Very interesting because when I tried it on with just one arm completed, I think I was more excited about it then. I'm loving this top so much than I am now. And I think the top came out really nice. I don't know how I feel about like this size of like collar, neck hole or whatever. I think I would have liked it better if it was like higher up, but I mean, I guess I could pick up stitches to make like a little bit more of a collar, but I created the collar at the start of my Raglan, so like, actually you can't even see any collar, but I did like this whole section here of just like straight knitting without doing any like increases for my Raglan. So technically like this is supposed to be my collar. So I don't know if it'll look weird if I pick up stitches to create like a second collar. I mean, honestly, it'd probably be okay. I might end up doing that, but honestly, I have no idea. No idea, but you know, I think it's cute. I think it's cute. It's also rolling quite a bit right now, so I'm gonna block it and see how I feel about it after it's been blocked. So I finished one of the sleeves of this cardigan and it didn't work out at all. I'll show you what it looks like when I just put this on like this. This is what the sleeve looks like. So as you can see, it is way too short. I don't know what happened with the measurements. I didn't want it to be this length. I wanted it to go down to my wrists, and obviously that didn't happen. I don't know what happened with my measurements. Everything's been working up a little differently with this cardigan. Not only is the sleeve the wrong size, the rest of the cardigan came out smaller than I wanted it to. I wanted this cardigan to be oversized, but with the way that it is now, I don't think it's gonna be oversized, but I think it could still work. It'll just be more of like a cropped, like more fitted cardigan, maybe. Hard to say at the moment, but yeah, I'm just gonna take apart the sleeve. I'm not gonna take apart the rest of the cardigan because I think the rest of it, like the back and 2 front panels, is salvageable. I think I can still work with it. I just finished working up the sleeve for the second time, and now I'm gonna take it off the needles of my knitting machine and hold it up against myself to see if it's the right length this time. And I'm really hoping that it is, because I'm doing some shaping for the sleeve, which requires me to do some decreases kind of scattered throughout the rows, which is pretty time consuming to do on the machine. So I don't wanna have to do this again. I just need some yarn, and I'm gonna place all of my stitches onto a lifeline, and I'm just gonna use this like random yarn right here as a lifeline. So I just weave this yarn through all of my stitches in order to take them off the needles of my machine. So this is the cardigan, and when I hold it up like this, the sleeve looks like it's a much better length than it was before. As you can see, it is way too short. Like, it just looks like it makes sense now. So I'm gonna hold it up against myself to see how it's looking. And I'm just looking in the mirror over here. Oops! Oh my gosh, my yarn is everywhere. It's kind of hard to tell without my panels sewn together, and I could like pin them together or something, but I don't really feel like doing that. So I'm just going to trust. So I think it's a good length. I think maybe I could have made it a little longer. Well, honestly, it's kind of hard to say. Actually, no, I think it's a good length. I don't think I should have made it any longer because it could still grow a little bit when I block it. So I finished all of the panels for this cardigan. So now all I have left to do is sewing all the panels together and then adding a little bit of like a button band, but I'm not adding buttons, so I don't know if that's still considered a button band, but like this little border thing that you see on this cardigan here. I'm gonna be doing something similar on this cardigan as well. But yeah, I'm just gonna quickly see what this looks like. I haven't actually like held it up against myself with all the panels completed. I've only seen it with one arm panel completed. So I think it's a good length. So I'm curious to see what it looks like, even though the panels aren't sewn together yet, but okay. Oh, I really like this color and this yarn, so I really hope this cardigan works out because I feel like it'd be super cute. Okay, yeah, I think so far it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna start sewing the panels together and hopefully it still looks good once everything's put together. So I finished blocking the Raglan long sleeve and I tried it on for a second time, and at this point the only thing I'm not really loving about this long sleeve is the neckline and the bottom of the sleeves. But the bottom of the sleeves isn't a big deal. I can easily just redo the bind off because I feel like the sleeves are just flaring out a little bit too much. So I can just take out the stretchy bind off that I used for the sleeves and then redo it with a less stretchy one that flares less. So the sleeves are no big deal to fix, but the neckline will take a little bit more effort to fix. But I do think I have a solution for the neckline. So I was originally thinking of picking up stitches along the neckline and creating a little bit more of a collar to bring the neckline a little higher up. But like I mentioned before, I do already have a bit of a collar incorporated into this raglan that I did at the start of the raglan. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of taking apart the collar that I did at the start of the raglan and then picking up my stitches and reworking the collar and adding some decreases to kind of like cinch it in a little bit more, and then making the collar a little bit longer to bring the neckline a little higher up, kind of like how this sweater is. Yeah, because the thing that I don't like about this neckline right now, it's definitely too wide for my liking, and I'm gonna try fixing it by taking apart my cast on stitches, because this is where I cast on the raglan right here because I did the collar at the start of the raglan. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking apart my cast on stitches, and then I'm gonna take apart about 5 rows that I did for the collar at the start, and then I'm gonna place my stitches onto my needles and rework the collar. Kind of weird taking apart cast on stitches because I can't just like pull my yarn and frog my stitches because I'm kind of going backwards. So basically I just have to like pick apart the cast on stitches, but so far it's working. And this is what it looks like when I take apart the cast on stitches. So I still have like the loops of the stitches, so I feel like I'll be able to place those onto my needles and work them up just the same, because technically everything's like backwards, I guess, but I don't know if that really makes a difference because like I started from this point, like the stitches I'm casting on right here, and then work my way down, but now I'm gonna be like working up. So that's what I mean when I say everything's backwards. I don't think I've ever done this before. I feel like I might have tried this before and it went wrong because I don't remember ever successfully doing this, but I do remember attempting this. So I just took apart the cast on stitches, so now I'm just gonna frog a couple rows just to take apart the collar that I did at the start of this raglan, but I just have to be careful not to frog too much because I don't want to accidentally frog some of my raglan increases. So I'm just going to do this carefully. Okay, I think I'm getting pretty close to my raglan increases. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. So I'm gonna start putting my stitches back onto my needles. So I placed all the stitches back onto my needles and everything's looking good so far. And now I'm just gonna rework the collar. And I'm gonna add some decreases in the same area where I did my raglan increases in order to make the neckline smaller, because I feel like I definitely need to make it smaller because it's definitely bigger than I want it to be. So I finished both the cardigan and the long sleeve raglan for the most part. I still have to weave in the ends on the long sleeve raglan, and I still have to block the cardigan, but this video has to go up tomorrow, so I don't really have time to block this cardigan and weave in the ends on this raglan. So I'm just gonna show you guys what they're looking like at this point since they're basically done. The first one I'm going to try on is the cardigan. So this is what it looks like when I just hold it up. Oh my god! I actually love this cardigan so much. I think the only thing I would maybe change is the length of the cardigan. I know I mentioned that earlier in the video that I was feeling unsure about the length of it. Maybe it's a little too short, but I can't tell. And I still am a little bit. I do feel like it's slightly too short, but I haven't blocked it yet. So it could also grow in length when I block it, especially if I like pull it a lot in this direction. I feel like I could get it to be a little bit longer, but I think the length of it, I think it's okay. I think it's still throwing me off a little bit, mostly because of the shirt I'm wearing underneath of this cardigan, just because the shirt sometimes looks like a little longer than the cardigan, which I feel like is kind of a weird look. I feel like the cardigan should be longer than the shirt I'm wearing underneath. I think the length of the cardigan would make a lot more sense if I wore a cropped top underneath, but I couldn't find a crop top that would match this cardigan, so I just put this top on for the sake of the video. But yeah, I think the length of it is okay. I think, yeah, it's cute. It's a little like slightly cropped cardigan. Actually, it's not even really that cropped, to be honest. I guess it's kind of like more noticeable that it's cropped in the back. Yeah. I think it's cute. Also, I ended up making the button band super thick. Yeah, I kind of had to do that because I made the front panels, like right here, really probably a little thinner than I should have. So before I did the button band, like this cardigan was like sitting like this on my shoulders and it was just falling off a lot. So I ended up having to make the button band really thick to kind of make the front panels wide enough to sit on my shoulders. But I actually really like the wide button band. I feel like it looks really cute. I am very happy with this cardigan. I think it came out perfect. Also, the whole reason I made this cardigan in the first place was for my trip to Japan, because I am planning on wearing a lot of dresses in Japan, and I feel like a cute little cardigan over top of a dress would look really cute. So I figured I could make one, and that's why I made this cardigan, especially because it's with Noro yarn, which is a Japanese yarn. So I thought it'd be cute to knit a cardigan with Noro yarn for Japan. And now I'm gonna try on the Raglan long sleeve. I feel a lot better about this top today than I did the last time I tried it on, and I didn't film the last time I tried it on, which was yesterday. But basically the last time I tried it on, I felt super disappointed in this top. It wasn't really looking the way that I wanted it to look. Yeah, honestly, it kind of put me off from knitting clothing a little bit, because I just felt like I started overthinking everything else that I've made. I was like, is anything I make ever good? I don't know. I started spiraling a little bit for sure. Yeah, all because of this top. All because of this top. But now that I'm trying it on, it's actually nice. I like it. I think when I tried it on yesterday, I tried it on at the end of the day after a busy day. I was stressed and I wasn't feeling like my best. And I also tried it on with a skirt that just didn't look good with the top. And this whole time I was imagining like pairing this top with the skirt that I tried it on with yesterday. And then when I tried it on with the skirt for the first time yesterday, it looked really bad. So I think all those things played a part in me not liking this top yesterday. But now that I'm trying it on, when I feel a lot better about myself, and I'm also pairing it with something that looks a lot better, like I actually think it looks really cute with these like linen-y kind of pants. Yeah, I like this top a lot with these pants. I really did not like this top with the skirt yesterday. I'll have to try it on again and show you guys. I think the reason it looked so bad is because the skirt was like high-waisted and this top was longer, but this whole time in my head I was like, no, the skirt's low-rise, so I have to make this top longer. And then I tried on the skirt and it ended up being high-rise, and I was like, oh my god, why did I make this top so long? Anyways, I spiraled a lot yesterday and I'm just feeling so much better now that I actually like this top. So yeah. Another thing that's not so great about this top though is I think I made it a little bit too tight. It works, it's good, but I think I made the sleeves a little too tight. I think I could have added more, what is it, armhole depth? No, that's not it. I feel like I could have definitely made the armhole bigger because every time I put it on, I have to like readjust the sleeves a little bit just so it doesn't feel like super like, you know, tight and constricted. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that's okay. Because it still works. It's not like uncomfortable. Like I can move perfectly fine. Like it's stretchy enough. It just kind of bothers me and it feels a little weird. Aside from that, what else? I haven't fixed the sleeves yet. I think last time I mentioned I was gonna take apart the bind off, the stretchy bind off that I used for the ends of the sleeves, and then redo it with a less stretchy bind off. I haven't done that yet because I was focusing on the collar and then the bottom of this top because I actually redid this, like maybe this section right here of the top, I think it was like 4 times, and I didn't film any of it because I was feeling really frustrated with it and I was like, what's the point of filming the same thing over and over and over again? So yeah, didn't film myself redoing this bottom section like 4 times, but I did redo it a number of times and it was really frustrating, but I think I got it right this time. I think it's good. I like the bind off. I like the shape of it. I think it's good. Another thing that I redid a couple times was the collar, and I feel like I got the collar right this time. I'm actually really happy with it now, but the first time that I redid it, so the last thing I filmed for the collar, I think was me picking up the stitches and then, yeah, reworking the collar. So I did that, and I made the collar really long with the same length here, but it looked really weird and it was kind of like it was baggy around my neck. And yeah, wasn't liking it. And so I took that apart, and what I did is I went right back to the beginning, like where I originally picked up my stitches. So I went back to where the raglan increases are, and I cast off all of my stitches, and then I picked up stitches from that bind off, and then I created like this little collar here. And I think that worked so much better. So that's what I did with my, with this raglan right here. That's what I did for the collar of this raglan, and I really love this collar on this raglan, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on it and I wanted to recreate that. So what I did for the collar of this raglan is basically the same thing as the collar for this raglan. Anyway, with all of that said, I feel good about this top. I think it turned out pretty well. And I actually also made this top for Japan as well. So I made both this top and this cardigan to wear in Japan, mostly because I'm not liking a lot of my clothing right now. So I got the idea that I would just like knit an entirely new wardrobe for Japan, and that's been stressing me out a little bit. But yeah, originally made this to wear in Japan, and I don't know if I'll wear it in Japan. Haven't decided if I like it enough to bring it with me because I do want to go there with a mostly empty suitcase, so I have to bring like super important things only. Yeah, and I don't know if this is gonna make the cut. I do like this top now, but I don't know if I like it enough to bring it to Japan. Anyways, this is what it looks like all around. Yeah, cute. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I made this top with a linen cotton blend of yarns, so this will be super nice for the spring. And same with this cardigan. I made it with Noro yarn, and it didn't say on the label which blend it was. It probably says the name of the Noro, but I haven't checked what the blend of yarn is exactly. I know there's silk in here because of the way that it shines in the sunlight. So yeah, with this being a silk blend yarn and then this being a linen cotton blend of yarn, both of these garments will be really nice to wear in the springtime. So regardless of whether or not I bring them to Japan, I will definitely be wearing these a lot in the springtime because yeah, this is exactly what I needed in my wardrobe. I don't have a lot of spring clothing that I like, so I'm happy that I got to add two new garments to my spring wardrobe. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video here because I have been talking for a while now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video. Let me know what you guys think of the garments that I made, and let me know which one's your favorite. I think the cardigan's my favorite at this point in time, but the long sleeve raglan's really growing on me. The more I wear it, the more I like it. But I want to know which one's your favorite. So let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna go now, but hopefully I will see you in one of my next videos. Bye!